Hello everyone and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations, where, as usual, things not going great for us right off the bat. Our client confessed to covering up the murder, which does not help us. Worse, she is pinning the crime on Maya, but claiming self-defense, which is still murder. And I can't, I wonder if Maya would get away with it. Now, none of that is relevant if something has happened to Maya, which she's got to be okay. There's no way they wouldn't do that. I'm trying not to get like that far out of it and like think of it in terms of a game that like they wouldn't do that. But like, hopefully they find Maya soon, because that would make me feel better. So that's where we are now. Iris is giving us new testimony about the battle supposedly between Misty and Maya, which this is all just going to be nonsense. So let's see if we can figure out why it's nonsense. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff, but then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Yeah, right. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. Wait. That's when Mystic Maya stabs Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. That was a very heartbreaking story. I don't know if there are any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore. That seems reasonable. How come they don't have to prove any motive whatsoever? Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Alright, let's do this. Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all this? What do you mean? Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle. I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me. So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck? Okay. What happened to the victim's staff then? I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I couldn't really see. I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated. That makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger. Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground, and then at some point Mystic Maya picked it up. Nothing sounds especially strange yet. What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her? You're saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim? Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger. I still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point, it's just silly. As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal. I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified. Your animal analogies have grown tiresome. Please tell me that the final stage of this trial, Phoenix just slaps him across the back of the head. That's how I want the game to end. We win, and on our way out, Phoenix just slaps him in the back of the head. The end. You were the one who started it. Anyway, so after Maya Fey backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next? Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw? Yes, I'm almost certain. Almost? That was my question. The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who. What did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely. We know that Maya Fey was at the inner temple that night, and that the woman who was killed was Elise Donim. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who? I don't have anything to counter that yet. Well then, witness, please continue your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. The two of them faced each other for a moment. Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. The Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground. So she was stabbed in the stomach. Wait, hold on. That doesn't sound right. Where's the autopsy? Loss of blood from stab in the back. Whoa. Yes. Where did the dagger go? I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see. According to the detective who found the dagger, it was stuck into the pine tree in the garden. Most likely it was flung towards the tree after the struggle. This is the most likely explanation, yes? For being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away? Now that I think of it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while, and Mystic Maya stood there not moving an inch. It felt for a moment like time had just stopped. But then suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over. Seems like a reasonable story at first, but there's one thing that's completely impossible. The very idea of Maya stabbing someone, that alone is impossible, which means this faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere. Oh, we're back to the beginning. Okay, so let's go back to, but then she dodged the next and stole her weapon. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. Wait. Where's the testimony? How do I get them to add the testimony about... That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Did I miss something here? Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw? Yes, I'm almost certain. Almost. The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who. What did she just say? In other words, it could have been someone else. Oh my god, shut up! Then obvious who attacked who. I don't have anything to counter that yet. Well then, witness, please continue your testimony. The two of them faced each other for a moment. Then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. So she was stabbed in the stomach. So how do I get this added to testimony? Because I like... It's wrong. It's wrong. I want to fight this. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. Seems like a reasonable story. Yeah. How do I get that in there? That allows me faulty contradiction. Stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. Man, I know what the contradiction is. I just don't know how to apply it. I need that autopsy report at her statement about it stabbing her in the stomach. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. I kind of want to press that, or like not press that, but like more info too. Is she talking about the staff or the knife? What happened to the victim's staff? So she's talking about the knife. I'm not sure. It was very dark, so I really couldn't see. And get knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated. That explained the need for the dagger. There's the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck... So we don't have anything to dispute this, despite the fact that it is complete garbage. With her back to the stone lantern. I could see... I could see maybe presenting it here. Because if her back's to the lantern, then she can't get stabbed in the back. But really, what I want is, that's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. What I want is the other part of this testimony. What if I present the autopsy here? What if we did that? Oh, I forgot about that. Body fell 10 feet after death. Something about you just isn't right today, Iris. Huh? Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony? According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct? I wonder if I could have presented that statement too. Yes, that's right. But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yes, I think so. But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? Oh God, Godot. It's simple. People are like books. We got a front and a back, you get my drift? Sure. Is that all you have to say? I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind. Can you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff, people fighting being mother and daughter, and now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach. There are certainly some inconsistencies. Well, Iris, how about it? Well, it's just... If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee. Oh, good, a coffee lesson. I'm not gonna lie, these are wearing a little bit thin because I want to know what happens next, and he's wasting a lot of time. It was hilarious in the first few trials, but now, But to pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all the senses. Were you really concentrating on what this witness actually said? Prosecutor Godot, explain yourself. The witness was quite ambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said... Unambiguous about her own ambiguities. That the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. Oh, get out of here with this nonsense. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light. Light? By the way, did you know Hazakura has a rule that on nights when an acolyte is at the intertemple training, that the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit? I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for. Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Normally, yes, Your Honor, but according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light the stone lantern. Impossible? It hadn't been used in a long time and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. So, his argument is just utter nonsense. She couldn't have seen exactly what happened because it was too dark, but she knows what she saw because she saw it. Alright. BRB while I kill a spider. Okay, sorry about that. So anyway. This guy. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all. Most enlightening. Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. You yourself are your own contradiction. If the staff was dropped, it would have been difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. Why? Okay, they didn't recognize each other, but they tried to kill each other? Come on! Oh, we can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Wright? No. Like, his arguments are just so bad. Order, order, order. Here, Your Honor. Let me present the stone lantern into evidence. Maybe it'll rekindle the flame of truth in your mind. Now, I will say, the Maya thing, we have to address that. That, I'm surprised hasn't come up yet. Was not lit on the night of the crime. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face? What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot? This lantern. There's something written on it. Why, it's written in blood. Oh boy. The judge didn't know about that yet. Written in blood. It says Maya upside down. What the? Oh, yes, that's right. After being cornered and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. Oh my god. She must have been writing on the stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body. It certainly looks that way. Hang on just a minute. Ooh, I like that this is tripping him up. What are you all talking about? What do you mean, what are we all talking about? We're talking about the message written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern is as clean as a whistle. Ooh. Could it be? He can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Can he not see? I'm wondering if he can't see the color red. So that's what he meant by that. In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark. And that the victim scrawled this message on the stolen lantern. Well, Mr. Godot, anything further? No, he's off balance. He was not expecting that to be there. Mr. Godot? Okay then, let's move on. Why would he let that go? That should have been, like, going in for the kill. Here we go. Here we go. Now we've got a case again. Godot is literally shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from caffeine overdose. I believe it has now been established that Miss Donim was killed by Maya Fade. That's just wrong. It really hasn't. This is... Come on. Now it's time to turn our attention to you. Yes, sir. After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears. Oh, I know what this is going to be. Sister Iris's cover-up. Okay. So let's see if we can get some good info out of this. After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Kurain tradition, so I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge, and then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple, and I used the Shichishito to alter the way the wound looked. No. So you moved the body? Yes, I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fae clan, but even so, I never imagined that at least a Nim was actually Misty Fae. I've committed a terrible sin. Terrible trick of fate. I believe you're looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body. But You were spotted by the head nun, correct? Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back. Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. So you waited until everything was over before making a move. No, it's not like that. She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she was a little timid. Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion. Not a great thing for a judge. Isn't it your job as the judge to mediate the argument? It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on her what she had done. Alright, nothing suspicious about that. So then you knew. You knew the significance of the name Maya Fey. Yes, of course I did. That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position. Yeah, okay. That was a good thing to press. Anyway, she was a very special person indeed. Why did you do that? Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene. You moved your body all by yourself? Yes, I did. It would have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow. Snow, huh? Well, that's weird. It's pretty amazing you could make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge. It looks worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy despite its age. It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple cold. But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into the Eagle River? Yep. It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakura Temple. I thought it would still cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. No, you didn't. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible. Ha! Makes perfect sense to me, for the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge? Snowmobile? Alright. The snowmobile, I knew that would show up sooner or later. Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge. This is the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details? Ooh, ask about the snowmobile, ask about the tracks? Because the tracks were the issue yesterday, so let's go with that. If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks. This picture was presented as at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride? Yes, I think they are. But I can only see one set of tracks here. I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple. I see, snow was still falling, huh? And then when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks. How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony? Oh, it's very important. Because we already disproved this yesterday. When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. That doesn't make sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I'd like the statement Iris just made added to the testimony. But does it have something to do with the case? All will be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record. Ha! This should be fun. Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we? Yes, sir. So it already stopped. No, just there you go. This evidence clearly reveals the contradiction in that statement, Your Honor. Wait, they aren't, are they? Wait, what? No? What? The snow had already stopped. But we proved that. We proved that yesterday. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. Oh, no, that's not wrong. Okay. All right, I see what I did wrong. I gotta go back around. Okay, this is fine. I don't believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. But why would she want to do that? There's only one reason I can think of. I know what I did. I thought it was my duty. Sorry, temple. I dragged it all the way behind me. Right, this would be it. Right? Yeah, because lightning... Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I see what I did wrong. My fault. You claim that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred, but I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible. What? This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed the Dusky Bridge at that time. Why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire. What did you say? The bridge, it was on fire, so she didn't know? You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It's because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down. What? But it can't be. I thought that was weird when she said, like, oh yeah, no, it's fine, it's a sturdy bridge. I'm like, wait, but it fell over. Looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney. No. Order, order, order! The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body. Witness, even my patience has its limits. Hasn't come up yet. Any further lying, and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Objection! The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man. Me? How dare you? Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat, right? I have no words. He's just out there. Squat? The important thing now is to find out the truth, isn't that right? Yes, of course, but whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elisa Nim was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. And second, the head nun, Sister Bikini, witnessed Iris desecrating Elisa Nim's body. He makes a good point on both counts. That's right, I'm not lying. What are you claiming this time? I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory is still somewhat come on. You stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy? It is only human to err. If you're so perfect, try it. Maybe you can explain this for the court. What is it? When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this magic trick? Well, not exactly, no. I know there must be some other way she got across that burnt out bridge. Unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth. Looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. You see what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth. I'm in very good position to suggest it's not the truth. Alright then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more. About what, Your Honor? You've admitted you moved the victim's body, nevertheless your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation to that and to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Will this be her final testimony? Alright, we're just gonna have to hear about moving the body in the next episode. This case is so fascinating. Like, I just keep wanting to like get to the next part of it. Wait, can I can't save from here. Hold on. Moving the body. All right. All right. We'll pick this up in the next episode. Godot's making good points. He's making them in a very poor fashion. Oh, Godot. What are we going to do with you? I am so curious what his deal is with us. I get he feels responsible for Mia's death, but I feel like I want to know what his reasoning is for that. I'm so curious, but we'll have to wait and find out. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.